I said, put on your podcast live stream face.
I don't know what that means.
Put it on. Lipstick. It means you need lipstick.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. We'll wait for Will to get his lipstick on, and then we will start this Denver Broncos Week 1 post-game stock report. Who was awesome? Who scares the crap out of us? What are we doing? Where are we at with our football fandom show? 20, man, we're close to 24 hours now after the Week 1 game ended for the Broncos, after Bo Nix's debut ended against the Seattle Seahawks on the road, a game in which the Broncos lost 26-20. Will and I have not talked about this yet, so we're gonna learn each other's thoughts and deep dark secrets. Usually, I've got a good beat on what Will thinks of the Broncos, because a lot of times when we do the new worst game ever recap, we're both kind of in there writing a little bit, but Will was working on other shit last night, so it's just me. So I don't know where Will stands on anything right now. So I'm just genuinely curious to get Will's thoughts on Bo Nix, on where the offense is kind of at. Sure, those will be the more critical points, but also what we thought kind of went well and what the surprises were in your eyes for the Broncos debut with their new stripped down young team or whatever. So,
Sure.
What were your initial, just like your biggest takeaway from the game?
I mean, the only thing really that mattered was Bo Nix and how he looked. And that it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, you don't have to be doom and gloom about it, but yeah, it didn't look good. The offense looked really stagnant. This is a hard watch. Like, it felt like they ran 100 stick routes with 0 broken tackles. And
it really sucked to see Greg Dulcich pick up right where Adam Troutman left off.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you have to say about like 42 pass attempts, 130 yards? That's really what that game came down to, on offense at least.
Yeah, it was the thing that helps the Broncos, and it helps Bo Nix right now in terms of like a narrative, a national narrative, is that none of the rookie quarterbacks look good. And
yeah, of course,
I think like you walk this line between being critical of a rookie quarterback's play within the parameters for which you should judge a rookie quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And within your expectations of what you were hoping and dreaming it would be, and somehow rationalizing like where you think Bo Nix and the Broncos offense could go. There were the two things that Bo Nix did really well, and it's kind of hard to understate this, is got the team in position to score points at the end of the half. That was his first downfield pass. I think that was completed to Josh Reynolds to set up a field goal.
Yep.
And then after throwing the interception, kind of with the game on the line, which is really tough to see, because the one thing we thought Bo Nix would probably be pretty good with out the gate is ball security, specifically not throwing many picks. But he threw a bad one. But after that, when he needed to get them in scoring range, he did, and then he rushed for a touchdown. So those were the two things that I thought actually worked pretty well. It was like the hurry up offense both times, and seeing him do that, like that's one thing that I think is really tough for a rookie quarterback to do. And then it felt like some of the simpler things, the easier things that we thought he should do well, it looked like he struggled with, from accuracy to, I don't know if he's playing within like Sean's system and doing just kind of what's asked of him with all of those fucking short passes that killed us with Russ. If Sean's waiting for him to get a better, grip of the offense before they open it, or if like that's just kind of who he is, because that was, I guess, the one concern coming out of Oregon is like, this guy, they run a lot of short shit. That's what they do. And you're like, well, Sean does that, but they do it successfully. And maybe to your point, the Broncos just don't have the playmakers to turn some of those plays into, an 8-yard gain versus no. There was so many no gains on
Yeah.
some of those throws
Yeah.
because they were 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And then motherfuckers had to work just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between like the Oregon offense and the offense we saw yesterday was getting guys in space and breaking tackles, and never felt like guys really had space. And when they had the opportunity to break a tackle, I don't know that I remember a single one, or at least one like in front of the line of scrimmage.
No. I rewatched when I was editing the video together last night. Like I rewatched, it was a throw to Greg Dulcich, and they threw about 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
Yeah.
And it looked like Greg was going to turn up and, get over there. And the defender just grabbed his leg and like pulled him back. And he just definitely fell another yard short. And then don't get me wrong. I think Seattle's defense, they might be pretty decent. They might be putting something together, but who knows?
No, I thought they were good. I thought they tackled well, obviously. They were ball hawking. They probably could have had more interceptions based on a couple of those throws.
Yeah, definitely one more pick for sure that was dropped.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a good defense against a rookie quarterback in his first start.
Yeah.
Which I don't think – I mean, I'm not surprised. Were you terribly surprised by that?
By Bo struggling against Seattle's defense?
Yeah.
No.
I expected a little better.
Yeah, I did. I expected a little better. And I feel like a broken record because I felt like I do GPS 3 times a week. I felt like I predicted he wouldn't look good, not just in this game, but for all of September. I feel like you and I talked about it in some of our live streams. I've been on other guys' podcasts and I've said the same. I said the same thing. So I expected it to be rough. I expected to see like a couple throws or a couple drives that I'm like, all right, we can build on that. And I think the Broncos get that interception on the opening drive of the game, right? And they're in the red zone right away. And not scoring a touchdown there, that really sucked. But you can chalk that one up to it's literally Bo Nix's first drive as a professional football player.
Yeah.
Even in the red zone, not taking advantage of that. And you got a little bit of a unlucky play there. Javonte Williams just slips in the backfield instead of being able to pick up the first down. So, if he could have come out, taken that opportunity, just threw a touchdown pass or something there, maybe there's confidence, kind of clicks right away. You get a little momentum going. But I think like the big thing I'm seeing a lot of too is that it comes down to skill players not being dynamic.
Totally.
Not having who's our fast guy? Who the fuck's our fast guy?
Mims and Franklin are the fast guys, and they got to combine 12 snaps, all of them from Mims.
Yeah, and Mims I don't think had a target in the passing game.
Not that I can recall. No. Seems weird. It's just weird. Like you got Sutton, Vele, and Reynolds, who are all just kind of like the same archetype of receiver to some extent. Like Sutton's a little more explosive, I think, than the other guys, but they're all like big, lanky receivers. And then you don't find a way to work in Mims on like a jet sweep or a reverse.
Yeah.
Or like a little slip screen. It felt, I don't know, like far be it from me to criticize a professional game plan. It felt kind of uncreative.
Yeah, it felt like Mike McDonald knew how to shut down a Sean Payton offense.
Yeah. I mean, no, yeah, which again, not surprising. Like Mike McDonald was the DC for Baltimore last year, who opened up against CJ Stroud and the Texans, and actually, was DC and Stroud's last game of the 2023 season in the playoffs. So, yeah, it's not to see him do well against a rookie quarterback, not terribly surprising, like I said.
Yeah. There used to be like a running theme about like Bill Belichick just feasting on rookie quarterbacks with game plans.
Yeah.
And Belichick has a show now on
He's a
Underdog,
7, yeah.
by the way. My coworker Bill Belichick. I'll pick his brain about his thoughts, but he wasn't really impressed with any of the rookie quarterbacks through the preseason. The one quarterback he was kind of high on was actually Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So I'll be very curious to see what somebody like Bill Belichick says about Bo Nix this week after they get a better sample size of all the rookies. Again, guys, Underdog sponsoring today's episode with my code That's Good. I did have a Cortland Sutton special for week 1. That is over. Cortland got it. Thank God. And Cortland was open. He was open a handful of times where Nix missed him too. So when you're talking about the playmakers, you needing guys to get open, Cortland Sutton was open a handful of times. And I think there was 2 plays he was open and Bo missed him. One, Bo tried to squeeze a throw into Sutton in the end zone that probably ill-advised. But I think Sutton's out there still doing his thing. They just got to figure out their chemistry, how to get stuff going. But there will be more specific specials at Underdog with my code, link in the description. And of course, if we get 10,000 signups, I think we just hit 1,300 signups. If we get to 10,000 signups on Underdog with my code, they owe me $1 million, which means I will pay Will more money. So
$2 million.
I will pay Will $2 million. That's what we agreed upon. I don't know if it's a good investment, but that's just how Will's my financial advisor, and he just says that's how the world works.
It's a tax write-off.
Unless you hate Will, don't use that. Or if you do hate Will, don't use the code.
I don't know if that's
go to Underdog and sign up and use somebody else's code just to spite Will.
Burton did have more catches than Marvin Mims.
Yes.
That's generally not the outcome you want to come away with. It felt like Mims' usage was so sporadic last year. Like he looked so good in that Washington game. And they were like, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
And a little more at the end of the year.
I think like that's what it felt like the offense needed is more quote unquote scripted plays, like scripted out series.
Yeah.
Where they practice it, then they just do it. And you're designing those plays to get the ball in certain guys' hands. And maybe that's what he did. And maybe Bo was nervous and he was just like, I don't like what I see. I'm throwing it out to Jaleel. And then we didn't see Javonte Williams a lot, I felt like, after the first half. Was there any explanation on that?
I didn't hear anything one way or the other, but 12 rushing yards from the running backs in the second half. Like, no wonder he had to throw it 42 times. I think one thing, because we saw, I think Nix had like a 20, 30-yard run down the left sideline in that hurry-up drill near the end of the fourth quarter.
Yes.
I would like to see like a little more, maybe 2 or 3 like read options, stuff like that. And like a QB power, like get him on the move. He's really fast for a quarterback, for really anybody. Like I think he got clocked in over 20 miles per hour yesterday. I think you got to take advantage of that.
He broke 20? He broke 20?
That's what I saw, yeah. That's
pretty good.
That's very good.
Yeah, he was the leading rusher with 35 yards on 5 carries. That's an issue.
Not what you're looking for.
Nope. And I mean, like, I don't mind the split of, 10 carries for Jaleel, 8 for Javonte. Audric Estime only had 2. I thought he had some. He only had 2 carries?
He fumbled on his first carry.
Oh, that's right. Because he tried to hurdle a guy.
Tried to hurdle. ball popped out. Luckily, Troutman was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't get much run after that.
No. So you get 20 carries here. That feels a little low. Kind of want maybe closer to 25 carries for your running backs. But when they're only getting 2.7, 2.9 a pop, either one, it just means something's not working there.
Yeah, it seemed like they're running the ball outside pretty successfully at the start of the game. Not incredibly, but they're moving the ball. And then I guess Seattle took that away. And they kind of plugged it up in the middle too, near the end. And I mean, you're down 2 touchdowns at the end of the game or in the fourth quarter. You're just not going to run.
Yeah. So a lot of this just, doesn't look great. But through the first half, it didn't feel so bad through the first half because Geno Smith, the Broncos defense was doing a great job against Geno and the Seahawks offense.
Yeah.
Seattle couldn't run the ball really effectively at all for a while. Geno was under pressure a lot, and it just felt like, okay, week 1, defenses have the edge in this game. We're just going to kind of see what happens. And, of course, then the Broncos get all the crazy luck, the 2 safeties, which is just fucking insane. Yeah. It's just so stupid to get 2 safeties and also not win. But, hey, it happens.
Almost 3, yeah.
Almost had 3. But I think we can say stock up at least one area of the defense, the pass rush.
Yeah, I feel good about that. It was very effective early on, and Seattle lost George Fant at tackle. They didn't get themselves into favorable down and distance late in the game, so they really couldn't tee off when they had an opportunity to. But I think over the course of the season, it's going to look pretty good.
Let me just go to the defense here. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Stock up, Jonathan Cooper. First play of the game, gets a sack.
Yeah. Sure.
He could have done nothing for the rest of the game. I'd be like, that guy was fucking awesome, dude.
Didn't
he got a sack on the first play. Like, I'm going to remember that.
And who caused the interception, too? That might have been Browning.
On the getting in Geno's face on that throw?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There might have been a couple guys.
Yeah. Now, I'm using Pro Football Focus here just as a jumping point, starting point. I'm not saying this is the word of God, okay? But I concur.
It is the word of God.
Jonathan Cooper, stock up. Baron Browning, besides the time where he tried to tackle Kenneth Walker and Kenneth Walker just flipped him over his back.
Still made the tackle.
The tackle. Look, so Cooper got 7 pressures. They only gave Barron 1. Where's Benito? They only gave him 1. I think that's inaccurate because he got a roughing the passer, so he got pressure there. You don't not get pressure if you don't get roughing, so they probably don't count that. But it was really like 2 plays later, he got a pressure again on Geno Smith, and I think caused an incompletion. And Zach Allen had a nice game. So the defensive front as a whole, like I really thought we'd see more from Bo Nix and the offense. And if we were kind of worried or complaining about something that cost us the game, it was going to be our defensive front and no pressure. I'm still a little worried about the run defense because second half, that's what changed things for Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, that was the big weakness last year, and felt like early in the game, like it was going to get fixed. It was going to look better, and it just didn't. They wore him down, which Seattle's a good running team.
Yeah, I mean, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet.
Again, not a huge surprise, but
And all right, let's go. Let me go back to Seattle's stats here. Seattle Seahawks. All right. Because, okay. They had 146 rushing yards. Again, a lot of that in the second half. One of those, and I don't want to call it a fluke play, but a big chunk of that was Geno Smith's touchdown run.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens every week.
Hopefully not.
And I feel like the Broncos once every season they give up a big rushing touchdown to a quarterback you don't really expect it from. Starting back with old Sam Darnold.
One time. That was, yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me look at one more thing here. DK Metcalf had 3 catches for 29 yards. Okay? Who was covering DK most of the time? Pat Surtain. They give him a coverage grade of 43.5. Fuck off. So that's wrong. That's just flat out wrong. I thought Riley Moss had a respectable game, and very curious to see how he played in his first actual start at the corner position opposite Pat Surtain. I thought he was solid. He was this close to knocking down that pass that ended the game for the Seahawks. I know that doesn't count, but he was almost there. He was almost there, Will.
He was almost there. Yeah, he was fine. He didn't get burned at any point. He gave up a few completions, but a lot of them were just really well-placed balls.
Yeah. And I think if I would say stock down a little bit, that Geno Smith touchdown, it looked like PJ Locke kind of got juked there.
Yeah.
If Geno jukes you in the open field, I give you a lower grade. I give you a stock down. Other than that, Locke was fine. But that one play, I'm giving him stock down, Will.
I'm with you.
Then probably the linebackers, second half of the game.
Yeah. I think Cody Barton had a tough one. Especially that touchdown run from Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
They did a little trap play, and those guys just got eaten up. Noah Fant probably held Riley Moss a little bit too, but hey, whatever.
It is what it is.
Is what it is.
Now we got to play the Steelers.
How we got to play the Steelers?
Whose defense looked a lot better than Seattle's. I thought Seattle, strong defense. Week 1 Steelers defense looked like home wreckers. Not game wreckers, home wreckers. They are going to drive opposing fans watching them crazy, which is going to cause football fans within their own homes act irrationally, lose their shit, and destroy their own families.
Yeah, if you got tired of all the short passes against Seattle, I don't think it's going to get much better against the Steelers. I think they're going to have to get the ball out really quick. They're going to have a plan for TJ Watt. Obviously, I mean, you always have to have a plan for TJ Watt, but I'm not. Again, I'm going to have to keep my expectations a little on the lower side.
Yeah, that's all right. I think we should have low expectations for the month of September.
Yeah, it's a tough start to the season, schedule-wise. I mean, you go on the road, play Tampa after this. It doesn't get easy.
No, I mean, Tampa looked very good.
Yeah,
I thought maybe that
far away the best team in the NFC South. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, the Saints really took care of business, but competition, being considered as well.
Yeah. With the Broncos run game, because there's a lot of money invested in the offensive line, and we've spent a lot of time defending the offensive line, specifically in pass protection.
Yeah.
But the run game was not great last year. Is that a running back issue or an offensive line issue? I mean, it's probably a little bit.
Probably both. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think if you dropped Saquon Barkley in there, I don't think he's going for 150 every game.
What if you drop prime Chris Johnson in there?
Yeah, I think it would look better. I'll say that.
Just thinking somebody that's really fast. I just want a real fast guy.
Yeah, I mean, Jalil's supposed to be that guy, just not a ton of explosive plays.
Yeah. We need more explosive plays. I feel like we've been complaining about that since 2021.
Yeah. Yeah.
We couldn't get a run for 20 yards. Remember that streak?
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, right. Post Philip Lindsay.
Yeah. I'll take
McGahee.
Healthy Willis McGahee running the ball for us.
Yeah.
Easy.
I think he makes the most of a bad offensive line, a guy like McGahee. He's always just going forward, leaning forward.
McGahee. I'm trying to think if anybody it's hard, like when you don't get a lot out of your offense, there's just not a lot to highlight. There's not like, we didn't have like one receiver going for 100 yards and getting a touchdown and like, hey, we feel good about that. It just everything about the offense feels so vanilla. So it's really hard to like find something to be super high about.
Yeah, totally.
And defense, very solid first half. Special teams. That's our silver lining, Will. Special teams was good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Riley Dixon was awesome. Punt coverage was awesome. Whenever they kicked off, the dynamic kickoff coverage was good. It's weird to receive 2 free kicks in a game, but they certainly did.
We needed to house one. We really did.
Yeah, that would have changed the whole dynamic of the game for sure. To see
it would have been
take one back.
Yeah, if we returned a kick for a touchdown and Bo Nix didn't score on his rushing TD and say there's a defensive touchdown in there, and we could have been like the third team this week to win a game without having our offense score a TD, that would have been kind of fun.
Yeah. I will say one thing that makes me feel better, and it's not just the rookie quarterbacks that look bad, but I think quarterbacks look generally pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of good quarterback play outside of Mahomes didn't light it up. Lamar wasn't great. Baker was probably the best. And then
Josh Allen was good.
Josh Allen and Sam Darnold. I don't think I'm missing somebody, Dak perhaps, but
he was fine.
It was all very like the Vic Fangio cover 2 shell is really peaking right now.
They haven't solved it.
There's just not a lot of explosion.
Yeah.
In the passing game. And so we shouldn't be terribly surprised.
Yeah. Josh Allen, 2 rushing, 2 passing. He's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, with the cover 2 now, like that makes what Josh Allen does. Yeah, I should say Derek Carr is very good. It makes what Josh Allen does all the more deadly. And that's what they need to get out of Bo Nix too.
Yeah.
It's not that he's as bruising, but he's fast.
No, and it's, we've seen that. We saw that trend like I think a lot last season, where on a weekly basis there's maybe a couple quarterbacks who kind of stood out, but I felt like last season was the first season that I noticed that there was like a good chunk of QBs every week with like 150 to like 220 passing yards.
Yeah.
And it's hard coming off of, I'd say like 2020 every week. It felt like there was at least 5 to 8 quarterbacks throwing over 300 yards. There's maybe one dude's got 400 yards. We got very used to seeing a lot of ball movement through the air for offenses. And that is come back down to the mean, and it's, I think, a continuation of last year in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
So
well, I
like,
saw something from like 2019 week 1. There were 67 touchdown passes across the league. This week they're like 30.
damn, that
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. It's not great television,
No,
but the offense has to adapt back, and
yeah,
part of
they'll
that
crack it.
adaptation is
They'll figure out a way to take advantage of something.
yeah,
You know, there's still, it's still exciting because I'm seeing like the Titans highlights. Because you still got guys like Will Levis doing some crazy shit that goes
yeah.
it goes the other way, but that's still entertaining.
Of course, yeah.
CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson, they had a fun duel. But even that game, like, Richardson's got weird stat line, right? Like 9 completions, 200 plus yards, a 65-yard touchdown pass, 65 air yard touchdown pass.
I mean, that might be the solution is find someone
Go
who can
so
just
deep.
throw it over anybody possibly thought.
Yeah.
Like, if you get burned on that play, it's like, all right, what are you gonna do? You can't just stand at the goal line.
No. No. Maybe the NFL should have defenses only be allowed to have 10 guys out there.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe like 10 and a kicker. Your kicker has to play.
Your kicker has to stand at the goal line.
Yeah. That's my guess.
Yeah. The most annoying thing, of course, was the emphasis on illegal formations.
For some teams, yeah.
I don't know why we're emphasizing this.
Well, I kind of agree with it. Like, it's ugly to watch, but I agree with it in that there's just seemed – remember that, like, very obvious Chargers false start in a Sunday night game against the Steelers?
I don't mind the false start. I think it's the lining up and getting nitpicky on the guy lining up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
If
that.
it looks like they're jumping early, I agree. Like,
It looks like there's a ton of false starts now that
Yeah.
don't get called. Like, for just particularly from right tackles. Juwan Taylor, obviously, but it seems like maybe I'm just noticing it more, but it seems like it's a recent trend.
Yeah. It is one advantage for the defense, and you rarely see the NFL enforce a rule that's helping the defense. So that's
yeah. I don't remember seeing any hip drop tackle penalties. I know Josh Allen was calling for one.
Josh wanted a hip drop. Did he get hip dropped?
Yeah, he got hip dropped, and they
I didn't
didn't
see
throw the
that.
flag. I don't think.
I didn't see that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot to see.
So much happened, dude.
It is crazy. Like, getting back to the whiplash of an NFL Sunday after 2 standalone games, you're like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah.
And then you get, 12 games at once, and you're like, what the fuck? how do I make sense of everything?
Yeah, it's like if you're somebody who, has a drink when you go out, and it's literally like a drink,
mm-hmm.
and then you go out one night and you have 10 drinks, and you have to function the next day.
Yeah. You're like, wait, when did this happen?
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's so much. I can't remember what this team did where.
Right.
But at least, the Broncos Seahawks game, at least we weren't getting ejected for fighting like the Chargers Raiders guys. At least we weren't beating the shit out of each other in the stands like the Chargers Raiders guys.
Yep.
So we're still, maybe we can compete with the Chargers and Raiders. Don't know. We'll find out.
The Chargers posting that video where they were waving goodbye to the Raiders fans. It's like, you should not be posting that you're waving goodbye to fans in your home stadium.
In their home stadium?
Yeah, that was at SoFi. And they're like, bye-bye.
Oh, I didn't connect that. That is a cell phone.
That is, yeah.
Oh my God, that's really funny. Watch Grossi's very entertaining scriptwriters episode. You have to play his Packers crying about Love's injury audio over a clip of Kermit on GPS. Well, that sounds like a lot of work, Marshall. That sounds like a lot of work.
Give me homework.
Yeah. All right. I think we stock reported the Broncos. Speaking of script writers, Will Keys helps me write every script, every episode you see here on That's Good Sports.
Hey.
We used to do this podcast on my second YouTube channel, That's Good Broncos, but we decided I decided, and then I told Will, let's just do it on the main channel. I think Monday afternoon's a good spot to do it. If we can get it up right after the games where it's fresh, we will. If not, we'll be back next Monday. We'll see. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Some better stuff to talk about soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Can we have like a touchdown pass?
Yeah.
We need a Bo Nix touchdown pass.
Yeah.
We were crediting him with dropped touchdowns in the preseason, and we didn't even get a real touchdown, Will.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Winners and losers will be up tomorrow morning. Working on that. Johnny Barks working on editing it. Will Keys helps do a ton of the writing there. So that'll be recapping all of week 1 football up tomorrow morning. Appreciate you guys. And it's only week 1. A lot of time to get better.
God bless Bo Nix.
Okay. That was
False start.
Shit.